Welcome to this week's Who the Folk podcast. I'm Lonnie Goldsmith, the editor of TC Jewfolk, and this week I'm joined by a special guest host, my daughter and gymnastics superfan Emma, as we talk with Minnesota freshman gymnast Lacie Saltzmann. We talk about how her first season has gone so far, preparing for the upcoming NCAA regional meets, and the importance of picking a school with a great Jewish community on this week's Who the Folk podcast. But before we hear from Lacie, tickets are now on sale for Stories from the Tribe, TC Jewfolk's biggest night of the year and our signature fundraising event. On June 23rd at Bethel Synagogue, 12 community members take the bima to share their true Jewish stories about family, the generations that shape us, and the complicated, hilarious, sacred, and sometimes messy experience of being Jewish today. Some stories will make you laugh, and some will make you cry, but all of them will remind you that the threads connecting us as Jews across generations, identities, and experiences are stronger than we sometimes realize. Storytelling isn't just what we do, it's how we build Jewish community. Go to tcjewfolk.com/2026 tickets to learn more and to purchase your tickets before this unforgettable experience sells out. Lacie Saltzmann, welcome to the Who the Folk podcast. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Really excited to be here.
Very excited to get to talk to you. You are a freshman gymnast at the University of Minnesota. The Gophers are getting ready. This is like a little bit of a lull as you're getting ready to travel to Oregon for the NCAA regionals at Corvallis at Oregon State. I guess for starters, how has this first year gone for you?
Oh my gosh, it's just been incredible. I feel like there are really just not the words to describe how amazing this season has been. I could not be more grateful for the support and just continual encouragement from my team and these coaches. I swear, like, we really do have the best fan base, the best team, the best coaching staff in the nation. So it's just such an honor to be able to represent this university and this program and to just be a part of something that's truly bigger than myself.
And as I said before we started recording, myself, my wife, my daughter who's with me, we go to all the home meets. We're season ticket holders. We love going, and the fans are phenomenal. It is such a great group of people. There's so much energy at the Maturi Pavilion for the home meets. When you're doing your visits, as you're like looking around and considering schools, how much does the vibe on a meet day really play into that for you?
Gosh, for me, I feel like I didn't really focus on that. I was focused on a lot of like academics and culture. And then obviously having that great program was definitely there. But those were kind of my three non-negotiables, along with somewhere that had a Jewish population. That was also something that was really important for me, just to have somewhere that feels like home and where I have that community. But for me, Minnesota really just checked all of those boxes. The emphasis on academics was just so key. We have an amazing academic advisor, Chris Cords, and he's just phenomenal. Like, any major you want, he's going to make it work. I'm double majoring in biomedical engineering and psychology. So it was definitely quite the journey to find somewhere where I was just very certain that I was going to be successful in that path and really be able to pursue that with full support. And we just have everything here from tutors and phenomenal professors and a coaching staff who's really willing to support us in anything. And I think just having a junior on the team who's also majoring in biomedical engineering was really inspiring and just reassuring for me, just knowing like someone's doing it, someone's excelling at it already. And I think that was just a big part of my decision. But most of all, it really felt like home and it felt like family. And I can't describe like what exactly that felt like, but I still have that feeling. And just every day being able to wake up and just be so grateful to be here for this opportunity, I think is just such a blessing. And I really wouldn't have it any other way.
So you mentioned your double major, which is, I mean, insane, I think, to be an athlete who is double majoring in biomedical engineering and psychology. How do you, between all that goes into that, I read somewhere, I think you took 17 credits your first semester?
Yeah. And then I think it's 18 this semester.
Okay, that's just crazy. Okay, so you're taking it, I mean, your coursework is giant. How do you juggle all of the schoolwork plus everything that has to go into what it takes to be an athlete, between practices every day, getting treatment, taking care of your body, eating right, and also just being a student and a human being to like breathe and take in what's around you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a very schedule-oriented person, so kind of usually on Sundays or Saturday. Honestly, it's been like my pre-meet thing where I just kind of block out my whole week down to the hour pretty much of like, here's what I'm doing in this block just to kind of make sure I get everything done. I feel like especially in these exam weeks when I have 2 exams in 1 week or I have an exam following kind of that 2-week period, just being able to block out that time and know when I'm studying for this, what I'm doing to study and prepare for everything, and also just blocking out time to get these assignments done and papers written. So I think just having that schedule and I guess just like staying motivated, but each day I think just like taking time for myself and doing something fun, whether that's hanging out with my roommates, baking something, just really just something fun. I feel like I did a better job of doing that this semester, which is honestly crazy because I feel like somehow my schedule might be worse than last semester, but it feels better. Like it feels like I have more time. I feel like on Sundays I haven't had too much. So just taking that time for myself to kind of relax and do something fun, even if it's just watching a movie or talking with my parents.
Gymnastics, from a competition standpoint, everything starts after
Mhm.
January starts.
Yeah.
So you have a harder course load, plus then you have the meets on top of everything else. Does your schedule actually get a little more predictable once the meets begin, because at least you know you have that big thing at the end of each week?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's giving me something to look forward to this semester of just like really being excited to go out there. And I think it's made practices so much more fun too, because it really is like a break from school. Like our one off day that we have is probably my least favorite day of the week. Like I want to be in the gym doing something fun, just being with the people that I love every day. So I feel like having that is just kind of like an outlet and just being able to separate those two worlds, I feel like has been really important and definitely a learning curve from last semester. But I feel like just going in this time, just kind of being in the moment, being where my feet are. And I feel like that's been really important and just enjoying every single moment because it really is going by so fast. I cannot believe it's almost the end of my freshman year. So just really embracing everything, all the highs, lows, and everything in between.
I think that's a really important mindset to go in with, to keep yourself centered and balanced in that way, where you're not, I think it prevents you from getting too far ahead of yourself. It
Yeah.
keeps you like focused on the goal each week.
Yeah.
Although the idea that like you want to be in the gym one extra day, like it's probably good to take a little time off, right?
No, no, it's definitely good. My Wednesdays are just stacked with school, so
Okay.
it's a fun day, to kinda get through everything, but we also have yoga on Wednesdays, which I've actually learned to love. I feel like it's really nice to just have something scheduled, but it's not something to do, like, it's not super active, just kind of 45 minutes to just relax and breathe and just kind of take a second, take a step back from everything, so I think I've really learned to appreciate that, which is not something that was necessarily my favorite thing in club, but definitely loving it here.
So you mentioned club, and this is something that we have talked about a lot, is that when you get to college, like you see these teams, like there's a lot of women on the Minnesota team and every college team. They're stacked, and they feel like all-star teams in a way, because you have this team of gymnasts who are all elite at club level
Yeah.
coming through high school. And then when you get on campus, it obviously changes because everybody's great.
Yeah.
You were Texas state champion, across, all around, and on apparatuses as well. But right now at the U so far, you've only competed floor and bars. What's the
Mhm.
transition been like for you to not be an all around gymnast yet?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely still hoping that's in the cards for me next year, but just really being ready for whatever position that my team needs me in. I think going somewhere where it really felt like a team and I was going to be a part of that and be a part of that family was really important for me.
Mhm.
So just learning to embrace that role because all 20 of us, we all have a role, whether you're competing out on the floor, cheering on the sidelines. And I feel like that goes for every day in practice, but we're all kind of pushing that lineup. I feel like obviously 6 go up and then 5 scores count, but there is so much value of having that 7, 8, and 9 really pushing those lineups and pushing the people in the lineups to continue getting better. And I feel like that's what kind of makes college gymnastics the pinnacle of the sport because everyone really is pushing for that perfect score. You want all 6 in your lineup to be able to go up and be able to hit that perfect score and at least
Mhm.
have the potential to do it. And whether it happens on one day or just seeing it happen in practice, I think makes it, I guess, not like believable, but just kind of having that certainty. We talked a lot about this as a team, but kind of believing it even before you see it because we see it every single day in practice. And whether it's happened in the meet yet or not, just having that confidence, whether you're the one going up or your teammates going up, and just expecting it to be there. And I think that's just been a critical kind of mindset going into regionals and just the rest of this season with expecting that we're going to go up and we're going to hit and we're going to do what we know how to do.
There've been a number of times that, again, for people who don't watch regularly, especially in the dual meets where it's just you versus another team, after the 6 counting scores or the 6 that have the opportunity to count,
Yeah.
there's often 1 or 2 exhibition gymnasts. It's not uncommon. Like I said, you're all elite. An exhibition gymnast can do a better score than somebody, one of the 6. And that gives the coaching staff a real decision to have to make going into the next meet. There's nothing guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's honestly what's made us stronger as a team is going in and really having to like earn your spot every week. And I think that's really important to go in and not like really make every single turn count and go up and know what I practice in the gym is going to show up in competition and also have that confidence because we all have the numbers that show like we're going to go out there and we know we're going to hit because that's our normal, which I feel like is different than club just with the consistency rates and really just focusing on every little detail. Because at this point, we're all kind of at that difficulty level. Maybe like if you're not pushing like 7, 8, and 9, you're kind of working toward it. But I feel like being there and just really refining those little details, because that's what it's coming down to kind of push and make those lineups. But I feel like just embracing the role you're in. I feel like I've really loved being able to lead off floor. I feel like just bringing so much energy and fun to the team, whatever point we do floor in the meet, I feel like has been really fun and just kind of owning that spot on bars and just really being consistent and going out and doing what the team needs me to do.
But you said like setting the tone, bringing the energy for floor. How does it feel to be in that leadoff spot, especially as a freshman? And your routine is so fun. So like going out and having such a fun routine and knowing like you are hyping up the 5 girls that are going after you. What does that feel like? What's that dynamic?
I feel like I'm just really grateful to be in that position. Honestly, this is probably my dream 2 events I wanted to do as a freshman. I kind of came in and obviously coming a year early, just knowing like I was like, I really want to do bars. And I was like, I would love to do floor my freshman year. Obviously with BEAM, I came in with a lot of skills, still trying to like figure out what that routine is going to look like next year. I feel like we have it down. So just fine tuning that. But for me, I feel like I'm just so grateful to be in that lineup. I remember going into season, it was probably like 3 weeks before, and we had just continually switched my floor passes. We didn't quite know what routine I was going to do. And the judges had came in. We thought that I could do like front layout, front half, and it was going to be up to level. And we found out that it wasn't. And so we had it must have been close to like less than a month. And I haven't been that open-minded to front twisting. If you ask my club coach, she would say that this is probably like the most shocked she's ever been that I am doing a front layout, front full in my routine because we tried all last season to do it and it was not happening. But I'm really grateful for Jenny just kind of taking it slow with me, being patient with me, and just kind of guiding me through that, just all through preseason, figuring out what we're doing, but kind of put it all together and I'm learning to love that pass every day and just really gain that confidence and work on those details. So for me, I would say I probably surprised myself being like in that spot, being as consistent as I've been this season and really just working on all those details. But I feel like it really is just such an amazing opportunity to be able to go out there, be the first one up, and just set the tone for that entire rotation. I feel like at Big Tens, especially coming off of BEAM, just being able to go out and do what I know how to do and just have so much fun out there. I feel like that was just really pivotal and helped us reach our season high of a 49. I think it was like a 6.75 or 6.5, which was really crazy for us. And hopefully we're going to replicate that and just go into regionals with the same mindset because that really is what our floor squad is capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 49.65, and you're right, because you had the rotation where you were the first person up after a tough BEAM rotation. And do you feel that pressure? Do you know there's pressure? Do you know how important that spot is, or do you just go do your thing? Because watching it from home, we're like, oh boy, this is a big spot for Lacie. Like,
yeah,
I was sweating.
She's gotta pick the team up here. This is a big spot.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of started the season and it was like, I really hope that I got my spot in the floor lineup. And I feel like that was really how it started. And I started out in spot 2 and I was like, please put my name on the whiteboard. Please, I want to be in the lineup. And then kind of just shifting over to having that confidence in myself and knowing like the team has that confidence in me. But I feel like just going up and I know I'm going to do what I know how to do and do what I do every single day in practice. So just being confident and certain. And I feel like just going out there and having fun. I always talk to one of my teammates before I go and just kind of like talk through like, okay, like this is what I'm doing. And I do the same thing in practice. So it really does feel the exact same way. And I feel like that's been super key to getting that consistency where it is right now, which I feel like is probably the most consistent my floor has ever been, just with landings, form, execution, etc. So I think just going out there and having fun, we've kind of dubbed it the Lace face. I'm just like smiling, happy, just really like in the moment and zoned in. So just kind of leaning in on that, I feel like has just been really great, and just owning every single second of it. Like, I don't know, I'm just so grateful. And I feel like the person that came in to college at the beginning of June never would have saw myself in this position, leading off floor, doing that second pass. So I feel like I just could not be more proud of all the growth I've made in that time.
Well, it's amazing. It's a tribute to you and the work you put in, and it's a tribute to the coaching and the faith that the coaches have in you too, because it's a competitive environment. Everybody's out to win every week.
Yeah.
If they don't think you can do it, they're not going to put you there.
Yeah.
So you talked about Big Ten championships. We mentioned at the top. This will run probably right before you guys head out to Corvallis for NCAAs. How has the mood shifted? Has the mood shifted, I guess, is the better question, in terms of urgency or preparation now that we're at this point in the season?
I feel like this is what we've been working for. Like, we are so ready to just go out there and do us. Everything we've done leading up to this point has led us here. And I feel like that has been why we've been able to score so well and just perform so consistently and do it in some cases under pressure, and being able to have our teammates back, which I feel like is so important. But honestly, not much is changing. We're just kind of going out, really just working on those little things. But assignment wise, it's all the same because our preparation is working. I mean, we say it a lot. Our preparation is our separation. So just going out, leaning on that, trusting ourselves and expecting it. I think it's the same mindset. We went in at the beginning of the season. Our mission is making it to NCAAs. And I feel so confident and so certain that we are going to make that happen. And I can't wait for when that does, because I feel like we can all see it. We can all feel it. So I'm just really excited for that.
It's really funny the way that the bracket works out. Potentially you're looking at an all Big Ten quad.
Yeah.
With UCLA and Iowa and potentially Washington, I think of as how it is. That how it's
Washington is in the play-in.
We have our brackets.
Yeah.
We filled out our brackets.
We filled out our brackets. We're ready to go.
I love that.
You had mentioned, like, in terms of your assignments at practice, what does a practice look like for you? Like, what do you do full outs every single day? Like, how does that sort of look at a typical practice?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it, like floor, we usually do floor 2 times a week. So it's kind of like every other day. And then on those off days, some of the girls that do all 4, so like one of the other freshmen, Ariana Ostrom, like she'll vault and not do like some extra tumble track. But like for me, since I'm not vaulting right now, we're saving that for the summer. Like I'm going to do tumble track and really just work on those landings and those details, just kind of really getting that execution as high as I can get it, especially in that leadoff spot, not giving them anything. But it's usually warm up 1 of each pass, sometimes 2 in a row of last pass, and then 1 routine. And then it's usually 1 more routine running for the passes, and then 1 pass that's kind of like that focus pass. So it might be last pass for me. It's usually my middle pass. And then just some extra endurance work. So we do a level 5 mat push routine. So it's like 5 back tucks, mat push, 4 back tucks, mat push, 3 back tucks, mat push, 2 back tucks, mat push, 1 back tuck, mat push. It does not get easier, but I feel like it gets faster. Like everyone on the team, it's like, it doesn't get easier. It just gets quicker. So, it works though, but it really does help that endurance get up and just kind of give you that confidence when you're standing in the corner for the last pass. Like I can really focus on my technique and know I'm going to hit it, like without a doubt. As for bars, it's usually routines or halves, usually no more than like 3 of each skill, but just working on those details, expecting that you're going to hit the first couple and then really focusing on those sticks. We do a lot of stick drills every day, just focusing on those landings. And then for beam, it's usually a couple routines, maybe some individual needs, dancers with cues. Yeah. And then I guess for vault, they usually do landing twice a week and then into the pit or softer drills for the other days. But just really focusing on the details and just going up and doing what we know how to do.
That's really cool. And like we do always say, like, it comes down to the sticks a lot.
Yep.
Like it is those little tenths here and there, like even the hundredths here and there that really can separate teams apart from each other.
Absolutely.
And sticks, to translate for people who don't know what this is and are just listening because they like to listen, are making, sticking your landing, not moving your feet,
not moving your upper body,
staying saluting. And then do you have like a fun stick celebration? I know that's become a thing in gymnastics.
I feel like our team doesn't do that as much. I mean, Jenny talks a lot about it. The routine is not over until you hold your landing and you salute to the judges. So I feel like we're all just focused on that. We're all really locked in. I feel like that says a lot about our team, our culture, our focus. So I feel like we still have so much fun, but fun in other ways, I think.
That's totally reasonable. So you've gotten to compete internationally. You got to represent the USA at the 2024 Maccabi Pan Am Games. You were first in all around, uneven bars floor, second beam and vault, which is I'm absolutely certain you got stopped at security, the metal detectors, with all the jangling on the way home. What was competing both for the US and as a Jewish American athlete in that setting?
It was so special, especially to go there when we did and kind of just when things were a little bit uncertain and up in the air about whether it was going to happen. But to be there with so many other Jewish athletes and really just lean in to my faith and just kind of celebrate that, because I feel like there aren't a lot of Jewish athletes at this high level. So definitely like being there and being with people who really do have those same values, I think was just such a special experience. I'm still in touch with some of those girls today. Words can't really describe it. I like still think about that, and it's so wild that I had that opportunity to do that, and I'm really grateful that I took advantage of it and I went, especially even just leading into the elite season when it was kind of like, am I gonna go? And just not being quite sure because I was doing my senior elite year in 2024.
Sure, yeah.
So just kind of figuring that out, weighing out all my options, but I'm just so happy that I did that, especially when I did. It was truly just really special.
Was it Argentina
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
year? Did I read that? Okay.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
And you mentioned early on when we were talking about why the U, you had mentioned a place that had a good environment for Jewish students on campus. That was really important to you. How have you found that? And are you obviously you're busy? I mean, you'd be busy on academics alone.
Yeah.
Take the athletics out of it, but like, how are you? Are you able to engage in Jewish life at all on campus? And what's that been like so far?
Yeah, I've definitely gone to a lot of Chabad events, and especially during the first semester, going to Shabbat every Friday there. And I think that's been really fun. It's like a family there. So I think having
Yeah.
those other connections and kind of friend group outside of gymnastics and school has been really great too. This semester has obviously been a little bit harder between travel, meets. My parents are up if we have a meet on Friday. So wanting to get dinner with them and catch up. So
Mhm.
that's been fun. But regionals is over Passover. So I will be doing my best to keep kosher for that time in a informal way, but we're gonna go with it. So definitely just kind of juggling that and just finding that balance. But I'm hoping to be able to make it to day one of Passover Seder before we leave for regionals. So that
Okay.
Okay.
hopefully we'll be able to get out of my math class to do that, because that's something that's really important for me just since I
Yeah.
haven't been able to go as much. But definitely just grateful for all those connections.
It's Friday night, right? Is that
Yeah, so we
Friday
leave
night
on
in
Thursday.
Corvallis? Okay. I wasn't sure with the travel and all when you're going to get to go and if you're going to be able to get to a Seder, but that's great. So you mentioned your folks come up. Do they come up for I can never tell who's parents at the meets and who's just super fans wearing the gopheralls. Do your parents come up to? How often are they able to come up?
My mom comes to every meet. She has not ever missed a meet in my gymnastics career and doesn't plan to. So she's definitely very committed with all of that. And she's very busy between her job. She's a vice president at a company. She just switched roles, so she's now like more in the business side
Okay.
of law. So that's really fun, and just being inspired by her. I really want to follow in her footsteps, doing patent law, which isn't exactly what she's doing, but following those steps to law school. But my mom makes it to every meet. My dad's made it to most of them. He's an ophthalmologist, so he's quite busy. And some of the meets, especially Sundays when he can't get a flight back, he's not able to make it
Hmm.
to. But
Yeah.
a lot of them he has, and just really I really appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule to be able to come and support me. And just, he's always up front. He is so loud. Like, there's a picture in one of my floor sheets. I'm like, oh my God, Dad. I'm like, what are you doing? But he loves running the flag at the home meets. That was like his job.
Oh,
He
that's
loves running
him.
Oh, we
9
see him.
Yep. At some of them, that was him. And
Oh my God.
he gets very into our rouser at like at the send offs. It's great.
Yeah.
He's pouring out maroon and gold, which is awesome. And then my grandparents come to a lot of the meets too. So definitely grateful for all that support.
That's
That's so
really cool.
cool.
I mean, it really does look like there is such a great group. We're on the
Vault side.
We're on the vault
Okay.
side, which is where we wanted to be because we really love the vault. But now
Okay.
we've seen how comfortable the chairback side
opposed to the
is as opposed to the bleachers. So
bleachers.
we're gonna move for next season. I
Okay.
think.
Okay. And then you'll be closer to all the Gopher fans. It'll be so fun.
Yes.
It's
Right.
packed with Gopher fans anyway, but
It really is.
It is.
The most packed, of course, was this year against UCLA.
yes.
That meet was, I mean, first of all, it was insanity.
So
Um,
so cool.
but I'm gonna let you ask this
Oh
one. This was your question. I
oh
don't want to
yeah.
steal it. Go for it.
um Obviously UCLA has such like is such a big name in college gymnastics, and especially Jordan Childs. What is it sort of like in the practices leading up to it, and then at the meet knowing like, wow, like I'm competing against an Olympian? Like, what does that sort of feel like to you?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's always us versus us. Like the best case scenario, we walk out of the meet and we're like, who did we just compete against? Because it's always just focused on us, fully immersed in our bubble, just really focusing on that next most important routine. So I feel like in those moments, we just go up and we do us, and we know that we're going to hit and control our controllables, because we can't control what those other teams are doing, but we know how much we prepared. We know how ready we are. So just going up and enjoying the moment and being there and fully present in those moments with our team, because there have been so many amazing moments this season that we've gotten to celebrate, from season highs from an individual standpoint to career highs, also individual and as a team. So I feel like that's been really exciting.
Yeah.
You're lucky enough early in the season. I think it was the fourth week of the season. You were Big Ten Freshman of the Week. One of your teammates was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty great group. I mean, just to have you and Ariana together, I mean, that's a great duo. What is it like? How does she like lift you up and you lift her up? And is there sort of any internal rivalry amongst the two sort of freshmen on the team?
Definitely no rivalry. I feel like
Okay,
we all just like want to see both of us succeed, and I think that's been really nice. We do like goal buddies at the beginning of the week. This week, we're goal buddies, so I think that's really fun just to kind of connect with her.
cute.
And I feel like really like we both. I feel like the whole team embodies Mudita. That's one of our three kind of selected values on top of our other five. So our like normal five that are our pillars of our program are gratitude, commitment, passion, pursuit of excellence, and integrity. And I feel like that really does sum up our culture in 5 words.
Yeah.
So Mudita is kind of just celebrating those like other people's wins as if they were your own, and genuinely being so happy for them and just being in that moment with them. So I feel like just knowing how hard she's worked to get to that point, and just for that to be recognized in that way, having her being named Big Ten Freshman of the Year, I feel like was just so exciting and just so amazing to come from our program. And I feel like just speaks to her character, the culture of our program as a whole. So I think that's been good, but definitely just both of us are pushing each other. We all want to be 1% better every single day and walk out better than we walked in. At practice, that's one thing Jenny says a lot at the beginning. I think every single day she says it. Um, but I feel like it's not just to say. She genuinely means it, and I think that we all just work our hardest and our best to really make that happen, and just really take every single day as a learning opportunity, and really writing down those wins and just stacking our proof every single day.
That's such a great attitude to go in with, because I think it keeps you and the team and everyone sort of very even, but you know what the goals are every day. The goals don't
Mhm.
change.
Yep.
Day to day, week to week, practice to practice, it's all the same. And what you're trying to accomplish is the same throughout.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned sort of some of the differences between, what life was like as a club gymnast. Obviously, high school is different than college, all of that. But what is from a preparation, practice, and how you're coached standpoint, what's the difference as you've made the leap from club to collegiate?
I feel like for me, it's just all the details, especially having done elite for 3 years where the focus
Mm.
is on difficulty. And I feel like it's kind of whatever's ready is going out there. I feel like
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
definitely more geared toward this 10-0 scale, where it's perfect what you have and really go out there and show off what you feel super confident in. And I feel like I've kind of learned to thrive in that environment, going up and being like, I'm like, I had a 90% hit rate going into this week, or I had a 95% hit rate. I'm a very numbers based person. So just kind of having that confidence and being like, okay, like, yes, I am so ready for this and I have the proof to back it up, I think has been really important. So just all that detail work. And I feel like also the coaches are so focused on you as a person, which I feel like I was very fortunate to have that in club, but I know some girls weren't. And it's
Mm.
very like person focused. If you like, academics are always going to take priority. Obviously, gymnastics is a very, very close second, but
Mhm.
just kind of having like, I felt that on my visit, where they saw me as a person and more than an athlete. And that was something that I was looking for it to feel very translational, not transactional. And
Mm.
just, I don't know, as a whole, it's always this we over me mentality. And I love that. I think that just speaks volumes to our culture and is just such a testament to everything that the coaches have done to shape our team and our program.
And I think at a club level, you're also being coached by an all-around world champion and an Olympic medalist in Kim Zemeskel. So you come from a background that's probably a little bit different in terms of how you're coached, because you're being coached by somebody who knows how to get to a certain level because they've done it. So the experience is different. I've noticed sort of the way the coaches interact with the athletes on the floor. It seems like every coach kind of, I mean, Coach Hansen oversees everything, but is there one apparatus that she's a little more hands-on? Because I've noticed, like, with Maya Houghton she's like the last person on beam to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Does each of the coaches sort of have their area of expertise or specialty?
Yeah, I feel like kind of like what you said, on beam, it's Maya; on bars, it's Sam; on vault, it's Kiki; and then on floor, it's Jenny. So like right before I go, the last person I talk to is her, and just kind of her reminding me like, I got this and I'm going to go out there and do what I've done every single day in practice.
Where was your floor routine when you came in? I'm always sort of curious how routines get developed, especially floor, because it's so fun and it's the one that there's music to.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you have a sense of what you want going in? How does that come together?
Yeah, so they have a whole drive, and it has a ton of floor musics that past Minnesota gymnasts have had, so we can kind of pick off that drive and pick like one or two if we want to. Then Kiki will mix it for us, which is really nice to have that kind of like in-house and do that. So that was what I ended up doing. But I knew that I wanted something really fun, something a little bit sassy, just something that was really like smiley, and I don't know, it just, that feels like me. That's kind of been my floor style for the past few years. So just kind of leaning into that, and it's probably going to be that for the next 3 years too. I feel like that's just kind of me, and I just have so much fun and just really look forward to getting to do that routine every day, especially under the spotlight when we go to meets.
One of the things that, like, we've heard we've noticed in watching and commentators talk about is the 2 passes versus the 3 passes in tumbling passes in a floor meet. And this is, I'm sure, way too technical for most listeners. This is a question just for us.
Yeah.
How do you determine whether you want to do a 2 or a 3 pass routine?
So we actually went back and forth on my routine a couple times, because at first we were going to do double pike and then front through to double. But it was like middle of preseason, and that's kind of, I feel like that's the hardest part of kind of just really being in the thick of it and just kind of trying to put everything together on every single event. So for me, the initial intention was 2 passes, and then we ended up switching to 3, because I came in, I had really strong round pike handspring double tuck, really strong round pike handspring double pike, and then it was kind of like that middle pass. I'd been working a double layout for a little bit, a double Arabian, but I wasn't quite sure. My freshman year, I wanted to do an E-pass. Maybe next year, still not sure. But I was still pretty like dead set on not doing front twisting. I was like, I'm definitely not doing back twisting. And I was like, guess if you want me to try to twist, I guess I'll go forward. But it literally took up until like 3 weeks before. And I just remember Jenny telling me like, okay, like, you're going to have to do a front layout, front full. She's like, you're not up to level. Like, you're going to have to try this. She's like, you can go into the pit. And I just remember walking over, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, I like can't see it happening. And like my club coach knows, like, if I say that, like, it's probably not happening. Like, it's not going. And I remember walking back, and I was like, you know what? I want to be in this floor lineup, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. So I feel like literally that day I did the pass like 3 times, and I was like, okay, like, we're doing this, and like just staying very committed to the process. But I remember like telling myself that I was like, you know what? Like, you want to be in this floor line, you better go up and go. And
so that brings a really interesting question, because I thought this, and I know this from watching Emma when she was doing gymnastics. How do you get over the fear and the doubt to push through? Because like, that really does, I mean, your ability to do that is why you're in this floor lineup right now. How did you get yourself there? Was it just, was it as simple as, I want to be in the lineup, I'm going to figure out how to put myself in this position to do it?
I feel like for me, it was literally just like convincing myself that it was possible and that I was capable of doing the pass. I've definitely gone through my fair share of mental struggles. When I was qualifying elite, there's an elite optional and elite compulsory. And for the compulsory on beam, there's a lot of backward stuff. And I had already switched my series. I was doing a front handspring front tuck. That was what I did my last 4 or 5 years of club, which I actually learned to love. Like, for me, that's less scary than a 2 back handspring. I would sooner go up there and do that than go up and do a back handspring on the beam right now. But literally, I would not go backwards. We were trying so hard to get the 2 back handsprings, and I scared myself, and I wouldn't do a back handspring. I wouldn't do a back walkover, wouldn't do a back tuck. And all 3 of those skills are in the elite compulsory. And this was all to not get a 3/10 deduction. So that was really great. And this is like 2 months before we're supposed to go to the qualifier. This is supposed to be like a check the box qualification. Like you go, it's like a formality. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I am not going. And so I came in early, tried going like with a different coach to just kind of like clear my head, be like, okay, like I'm good. And it was just not coming. I qualified for elite compulsory with a 7 something on beam because I finally went. But I remember, I think it was like the back walkover. I had to go up like 3 times to actually go
Oof.
for the skill. Not my proudest moment. But then we were done with that and the skills were fine. I like still do back tech on beam. I haven't done my cancer in a while, but I'd probably go. But I feel like for me, it was just like seeing my dream so close and just knowing how badly I wanted it. And to kind of frame it in that way of like not something that I have to do, but something that I want to do because it's such an amazing opportunity. I think that was the game changer for me, which I feel like also kind of showed in preseason when I was trying to do this front layout, front full. And I was like, I want this so badly. And just knowing that, and I feel like that really did just kind of like supersede any fear I had of like, what if it doesn't work? Because I was like, I'm going to try it. And you know what? If it doesn't go, at least I can say that I really did give a strong
Yep.
effort and I really did go for it. So I think for me, that's just been a really pivotal shift in mindset going into this season and kind of just in college in general.
I mean, I think everything on the beam is crazy, but like the beam itself, like who thought that event was a good and reasonable thing?
My parents, when they're watching beam and bars mainly the most, especially releases on bars, my mom is like my dad is like stressing, like my it's scary. Like it's stressful to watch it too. Like it's like, oh God. Like I get nervous still too. I'm like I look at the beam and I'm like, how did I get up with no fear when I was younger and just do skills on that? Like that's crazy to me now not being a gymnast anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I feel like everyone that goes up, we're all super confident that we're gonna catch those releases, and I feel like just go out and
Yes.
do a great routine. So
That
that
makes me
makes you
feel
feel any
better.
better
That
being
does
on the other
better.
side of it.
It actually does
Yeah,
make
that
me
does
feel
make me
better.
feel
Yeah.
better.
It is stressful to
To be
watch
fair.
though. It is stressful to watch. You guys look so cool doing it, but it is I mean, I'm sure it's harder. I mean, and I'm sure your parents would say this. It's harder for them to watch. I mean, they've got to like agonize with like everything.
Yeah, my dad used to have to, like, leave during beam, and then my mom told him that we're done doing that, and he can't act like, he can't walk away, like, he's not allowed to do that and do his little pacing thing, because that's what he used to do at the elite meets. Like, I remember beam was my last event at US Classics in 2023, and, like, at this point, I don't remember what happened on bars, but maybe I felt or it was just a not so great routine, but I was kinda like, "Oh, well, this isn't happening." Like, I needed something in the 13s, and that season, my beam had just been really inconsistent. And I feel like just even in practice, it was kind of like there, but I was like, okay, like, are we gonna hit? And I don't know what my dad was feeling. I'm sure he was more stressed than I was, but I went up, hit my routine, got the score on the dot that I needed to get my 49.5 and ended up qualifying. But
Amazing.
I'm sure he was stressed out of his mind because like it was like from my series to like the dismount, and my dad's like, whew. And the wolf turn, oh my gosh, that wolf turn. I swear the number of times I messed up on that in the meet, like it was
Wolf
horrible.
turns
Like
are
literally if I made it through the
crazy.
wolf turn and I actually did the double, it was a good day.
The wolf. Okay, so again, for people who don't know, and we may just have to like put a bunch of links in the show notes of videos of these things. The wolf turn is where you squat down, you have one leg out to the side, and
Mhm.
then you spin yourself around on one foot on the beam, usually twice.
Twice.
Sometimes some
Yeah.
people do a triple wolf turn,
Yep.
which is just I feel like you would lost a bet to do something like that. Like, why would you put
No,
yourself
okay,
through
if you can do the
3 of
double, you
them,
can do
let
the
alone 2? Okay,
what?
but if you can
But
do
you did
if you do a single, can you do a double? Does that work
I
both
wouldn't
ways?
say that because I feel like the set for the double is different because you have to like go in with momentum, but you can't drop your shoulder, you can't lift your leg, but like, you can pull around a single. Like your turn could be off, and as long as you don't have momentum going into the single, you can pull it around and stay on the beam. But if you're off on the double, it's just gonna keep it going off. So like getting that technique right, especially like if the beam isn't like super like easy to turn on, is just really key and critical. For me, that was just apparently not my strong suit.
for beam, I believe it's the mount that Jordan Leiden does where she jumps
Oh yeah.
backwards. My my mom, she just doesn't understand. She's like, "Why would you choose to get on the beam that way?"
No, but then she has less skills, it's so much better because I think it's a I don't know if it's a D or an E in college, but you definitely get a 10th or 2 from it. So it, like,
Yeah.
substitutes for trying to think about the like a side aerial on the beam.
Yeah.
Which-
Oh,
So
so
you do
that's
it-
why you do stupid,
Yes.
crazy mounts, so you don't have to do as much
Yeah.
stupid, crazy stuff once you're off.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I know this
know,
now.
this is
I'm gonna watch
silly.
gymnastics with it through an entirely different lens now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between the 2-pass and 3-pass routines on floor, where the 3-pass routines, like you can do maybe a little bit easier passes or easier jumps. Like for me, it's mostly coming from the jumps that are like, I think I get a 1/10 bonus, but some people are doing like E to D, and then you can get a 2 or a 3/10 bonus from the leaps. So it's kind of all down to that, or you can do an E pass and a D pass on floor and usually get all the bonuses you need. So it's kind of a game of figuring out what works for each gymnast, and that's different for everybody. I mean, for me, like I'm the only one that does a 3-pass routine in our lineup, and the rest of them are 2 passes, and some of our beam routines are longer than others. Like Jordan Lyndon is pretty short, but Lauren Pearls, who goes up 5th, is a little bit longer. So it's
Yep.
kind of just finding that balance and what works for each gymnast.
It really is such a numbers game because you have to get all of the required stuff and then you want to get
Mhm.
the bonuses that you can get. And then it's once you have the skills, it's okay, now you got to do it over and over and over again until you could do it in your sleep perfectly. It's a lot for sure.
Truly remarkable and slightly crazy. It's
Such
like,
a cool sport.
it is such a cool sport. I think you take a beating. It's a hard sport. It is a very physical sport. And I think the hardest thing for me as a spectator is that as good as it looks to us watching you, it's not down to you necessarily because you're being judged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
I feel like that was definitely true for me on floor. Like I really wanted that 9-9, and just being in that leadoff spot makes it a little bit harder to get that score. And I remember going into senior night, that was when I got my 9-9-2-5 in the leadoff spot. And I remember Jenny telling me because she does individual meetings, all the coaches do, and it's kind of like you meet with Jenny once a month and you meet with one of the other coaches also once a month, just to kind of be on the same page, really just get to know you as a person more, which I think is really nice and just, again, speaks volumes about our culture and just how it really is person first. But I remember I was in that meeting, she's like, you're going to get that 9-9. She's like, I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And just to have it like go there and just really start off that rotation so strong. And I'm excited to hopefully do it again, hopefully 2 times in Corvallis and then again at NCAAs. But that was definitely a huge confidence boost for me just to be able to do it in that leadoff spot where I feel like it's kind of not harder necessarily, but I feel like they're more apt to take a little bit more. So just really forcing myself to go for every little detail and just make every single correction, I think has also helped me kind of grow on that event as well.
I think that is such a bummer with being leadoff. Like it feels like there's this automatic penalty to the leadoff person score-wise because
Scores build.
Typically. Hopefully, like if everything's going well, but like to come out and really nail a routine like that. And even you set the tone, like we talked about, you set the tone at Big Tens too, a 9.875 to lead off after a little rougher beam like that. You finished 3rd at Big Tens in part because you got the ball rolling at the end there for the comeback.
Absolutely.
And what was Big Tens like? Because obviously the judging is different. You have 4 judges instead of 2. Yeah. So you know the high and the low is getting dropped. You're averaging the 2. And also just the atmosphere, I'm sure, is a little bit different. So what was that like knowing like the judging is going to be a little bit different and probably
and
a
podium.
little. Oh yeah, and you're up on a podium. You're not completely flat on the ground. All of those little factors that are different. How did that feel?
Honestly, I feel like I felt right at home. It kind of felt like the best balance between elite and college. Just kind of being up on that podium, but also still having my team beside me. Just through every single moment, I think was really special. But honestly, as electric and I'm sure as loud as it got, it still felt the same as any other meet. I feel like we were all just so focused in our bubble, dialed in to every single person on that team, really making sure that everyone had what they need, whether it was you going up next, giving someone a pep talk, getting water, whatever that looked like. I feel like just everyone was in that bubble and just in that moment and celebrating everything. That was so awesome that day because there was a lot of really great stuff that happened.
Yeah, it was a great meet. It was good.
It was really fun to watch. All right, so now I've got to ask you a really silly question.
Okay.
But it's something that we discuss in great detail in our house.
Okay.
The leotards.
Okay.
Who gets to decide which leotard for which meet? Because there are a whole host of them in the rotation for the Gophers. I mean, for every team.
Yeah.
For every team. What's the decision each week? What goes into that?
Usually the coaches decide on it, but for senior night, it was whiteout. So we finally got a white Leo, which was
Nice.
absolutely stunning. Honestly, all of our Leos, the new ones that we've gotten this season, are all gorgeous. And we have a new one for regionals, also stunning. I think our video is going out later this week. So
Awesome.
that'll be really fun. But they pick them. I feel like, honestly, I love all of our Leos. Like, if you ask me for a favorite, it's probably one of our new ones, but they are all stunning. And I feel like just they're so pretty. I feel like it just makes me excited to wear them and excited to compete.
Again, the sartorial choices the teams make, we do debate these in depth.
Yeah,
we
we talk a lot about
we talk about them. It's really fun in part because the Gophers, no exception, really, I mean, most teams, I think, really do like a fun reveal video or photo shoot or something on Instagram each week that really helps build the excitement as we get into meet week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like for us, especially at these home meets, kind of getting that student engagement was really important this year. I know we talked a lot about it, about just like ways we can really market our meets and really just make them seem like something that everyone wants to be at. Because I feel like from a family standpoint, and obviously our crowd turnout's always really good. And especially at UCLA, where we did end up selling out, it was really exciting. But I think just getting that student engagement was really key and pivotal for us this year.
Look, every meet's been a blast. I think the team's done a great job, obviously, on the floor and representing the university really well. And I know we've really, we've enjoyed being able to be a part of it this season. It's been great. Last couple questions, and we will let you go back to some relaxation time here, or studying probably is.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the day. I'm sure there's
studying.
studying to do. First, what is your favorite Jewish holiday?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would probably say Rosh Hashanah, or honestly, I might say Purim. I really love making hamantaschens. So I love baking. Anything that I get to make something is really fun. But the cliche one is probably Shabbat. I feel like the first semester, I just really looked forward to Friday nights, being with everybody and just kind of celebrating that and just really leaning into my faith. That semester was really great, and excited to go back to doing that when season's over in 4 weeks, because we still got some work to do.
You got a lot of work to do. Absolutely.
What do you put in your hamantaschen?
Ooh, I think we did raspberry. What else did we do this year? Strawberry. And then we found a cranberry orange that was actually really good. Like, that might be my new favorite.
Was it like a marmalade or jam or something like that?
My
Okay.
mom went to Whole
Really
Foods
good.
because we were, I think we competed on Sunday, and I think I also had an exam, or I had 2 exams, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. So I was studying, and I was like, Mom, I really want to make them, but can you go out to the store and get these? She's like, yeah, I picked out some jams. So those are what we
Awesome.
ended up with. It was great. I got to share them with the whole team. I feel like that's been really nice, just to kind of
That's fun.
share with everybody and just have them be a part of everything.
That's really cool. And speaking of food, what is your favorite Jewish food?
Ooh, that's hard. It's probably hamantaschens or challah.
Yeah.
One of those two. Those are definitely my favorites.
I really like giving questions that are super easy to answer and then go to like the Jewish holiday and Jewish food question, and people totally freeze up.
It's hard.
It's a hard
Well, I feel
question.
like I was thinking about everything else, and I was like, what do I eat? Like, what else am I eating? Like, normally you tell me a food, like you name like a country, and I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's where we had this food, and I'm gonna think about that. But like,
Well, there's so many Jewish foods to pick from. Like,
I know.
There's so many options.
There is no bad choice. I mean, there might be some bad choices, but I mean, like, people have said gefilte fish on the show, and
Gefilte fish? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I like gefilte fish. I wouldn't put that as my favorite, but
I'm with
haroset.
with you.
That is my favorite, probably.
Love
Yup.
haroset.
Yep.
That's definitely up there.
I'm so looking
I
forward
know.
to it
Can't
next
wait.
week.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
I feel like I'm excited, like I'm excited going in, and then we hit like 2 days in, and I'm like, man, I really want some bread and
Yep.
some pasta. Because like usually we get Italian the night before, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to watch everyone eat pasta.
You know what? You could also eat pasta, and nobody's going to blame you because this is.
Don't worry, I'm
this
still
is-
having my sushi. That's my pre-meat superstition.
there you
I
go.
have it the night before, so we're going a little bit breaking kosher, but it's okay.
You know what?
Can't break
listen,
my superstition.
No.
Look, the superstitions with athletes is like, that is huge.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna blame you. Bigger goals. Passover will still be here. Passover will still be here once you graduated. There's still work to do. Lacie Saltzmann, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much. Best of luck to you and the Gophers. We are all rooting you on here, and we can't wait to watch. Best of luck to you and the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
The Who the Folk podcast is a part of the Jew Folk Podcast Network and a product of Jew Folk Inc. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you have suggestions for other podcast guests, please email them to me at editor@tcjewfolk.com. For our other shows, check out tcjewfolk.com/podcast.